All right. Are we live?
Yep.
We're live. All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our October Town Hall meeting. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, in the back? Okay, good. I just want to make sure that the mic volume was loud enough. As always, we have an agenda chock full of information for you today. A lot going on. It's hard to believe that it's the middle of October. Time just keeps on flying, but then again, when it's 80 degrees outside, it doesn't feel like the middle of October either. But by tomorrow night, I think it's going to be pretty chilly. So we're going to go from summer today to fall tomorrow. So we will go ahead and get started with today's meeting. Our first presenter is Tina Hanneman. Now, Tina, I asked her, can we have your report from the dentist chair? Because she's at the dentist today, this morning. And you know what her answer was? She had gauze in her mouth. Numb. Bad joke? Okay. Anyway. All right, so I have some information I am going to share with all of you from Tina and our team over at Village Point. So she wanted to let us all know that from a COVID-19 vaccination standpoint, 97% of the residents at Village Point are fully vaccinated, and 90% of the staff at Village Point are fully vaccinated. Very similar to the numbers over here at Monroe Village, by the way. And booster shots are being offered over at Village Point today. We did them here last week. They're over at Village Point today doing the booster shots. So all those who received the Pfizer vaccine originally will have the opportunity to get the Pfizer booster shot today if they are residents or staff over there at Village Point. And for that matter, if there's anyone here today, since we're recording this live on Friday at 10:30 in the morning, if there's anybody here today who did not get their booster shot, who might want one, let me know after the meeting and we might be able to arrange that for you over at Village Point in case anybody missed it last week. So let's see, so they are also preparing for their annual Department of Health survey over there at Village Point. And you've all heard us talk about that before. Their last annual inspection over there was in January 2020. So right before the COVID-19 pandemic really hit. Normally the state inspectors come annually. They don't tell you, it's an unannounced visit. They just show up on your doorstep one day. But because of everything else like COVID, oh, somebody's getting a call. That's probably a good reminder. If you could please silence your cell phones if you happen to have one with you, that would be great. Thank you. Department of Health is running behind schedule this year. Not surprised, due to COVID. Everything due to COVID is screwed up. And we don't know when we'll see them. They'll be here at some point. But we do a good job at Village Point every day, so we don't really get nervous when the Department of Health shows up. As you've heard Tina talk about before, we've had, I think, 8 infection control inspections over there during COVID and done very, very well there. So we have a good operation and things go well at Village Point. But we are doing what we need from a documentation standpoint, gathering different things that the Department of Health will want when they come in for their annual survey, whenever that may be. A few staff updates from over at Village Point. We are pleased to welcome Selena Whitfield as our new Director of Dining Services at Village Point. Selena comes to us from Stonebridge at Montgomery, which is one of our Spring Point sister communities. So we are happy to have her join the team, as well as Greg Newman. A few of you might know Greg. Greg is the new executive chef over there at Village Point. He actually started briefly with us over here at Monroe Village before transferring into that role over there at Village Point. Eva Guzman, she is the new administrative assistant at Village Point. She is the person who would greet you when you come in the door during the day there at the desk. She's our new administrative assistant. She comes to us with lots of experience and background, and we're happy to have her. And then a few existing names and faces you might know. Kathleen Malone Kathleen has been with us for many, many years in our activities department, dating way back to the old healthcare center and very much before. So I'm happy to announce that she has been promoted, and she is our new director of patient activities. So that's a great thing for Kathleen, and we're really excited for her. And then Jackie Vendigny. Jackie has been our ADON, or our Assistant Director of Nursing, since, I'm going to say 6 years or so at this point. So again, well before Village Point opened. She was over here at the old healthcare center as well. And she's retiring. So we're going to miss Jackie, but we're excited and happy for her in her retirement. And I'm also pleased to announce that Tara Callahan Rodriguez, who many of you may know, Tara has been with our community for many, many years in a variety of roles. At varying points in her time here, she has helped oversee the clinic. She has helped oversee what was the old ESP program. She was involved in personal care and a couple of other things, and my screen just went, there we go. Okay, I must have leaned on the wrong thing. But anyway, Tara is joining us as our, or I shouldn't say joining us, is being promoted, and she will be the new Assistant Director of Nursing following Jackie's retirement. So we are very excited about all of those changes and promotions. It's always great to have the opportunity to allow people to grow within your organization and to take on more responsibility and bigger challenges. So we're excited to be able to do that for, just about all of those folks on that list, whether they were promoted from within Monroe Village and Village Point or growing into a new role here with us from another Spring Point community. So we're really happy to have all of that. So that's all the news that's fit to print from over at Village Point, and Tina thanks you for your attention. And with that, we want to talk a little bit about where we are from a sales perspective, an occupancy perspective. We do that every month at these meetings. So next up to present is Nathan Perez, our Director of Sales and Marketing.
Hi everybody. We'll go through our monthly roll-up, and then we'll take a look at the year-to-date, and then share some of the narrative with you. So for September, we had a goal of 4 in terms of sales. We actually had 6 sales, and then we had a goal of 4 closings, and we did have 2 that move-ins that did go on our books. Some of those move-ins had to shift into this month for various reasons, so you'll see a little bit more of a spike this month as a result. So where are we year to date? We're kind of getting close to the end of the year. I know that's hard to believe, but at this point in time, we're kind of looking at, okay, where are we in terms of the overall goals for the year, right? And also, where is that going to leave us starting next year? So in terms of our sales goal for the entire year, we have a goal of 50. That means by the end of December this year, we have to have 50 sales in order to kind of make everything work on all the balance sheets, or all of the closing sheets that we have. We, so far, up in year to date, have a result of 43 sales. That means we've got October, November, December to get 7 sales. I'm really, really, really confident that we can do that. I think we're gonna exceed that actually. In terms of closings or move-ins, those are people that are buying into the community, paying us, maybe not exactly living here, but closing by the end of the year. We have a goal of 47. Right now we have 33 on the books, so 33 people have moved in and closed this year. All right, so there's a little bit of a gap there, but if you take a look at what we have planned for October, we do have 5 sales scheduled for this month, so that's 5 taken away from or added to that already. And then November, December, we have an additional 6 to 7 that have already planned their move-ins with us for that time period. So we actually are very close to hitting that closing goal. I think we'll hit it or exceed it as well. This month we have a couple different events going on. We did a professional networking event where we combined our efforts with Spring Point at Home, that is our home care agency, as well as Saswati Chakrabarti, who is our Village Point case manager, and as well as a few other staff over there. We had 30 professionals come here this week to kind of see the new face of Monroe Village. It's been years since we've held and hosted a networking event here on this side of the campus. Past few years, we focused a lot on Village Point to get the word out about that newer building for us. But going forward, we're going to start having more and more networking and professional events here to continue to spread the good word about Monroe Village, independent living specifically. We had a direct mail piece go out to the local area that's advertising a life care contract specific presentation and a luncheon. I'm having 2 dates with that. So far we have 104 reservations for the spots there. About 50 of them are new inquiries. So far, I would say the past couple quarters, our new inquiry goals we are also meeting or exceeding. So we are having an interest in the community, a renewed interest in the community, I would say that. How you folks can help, obviously, inviting people, your friends, your family to see the community. Thank you for your referrals. Just a reminder again about the referral process. Bring us their name, number, email it, whatever it is that we can reach out to them, however it is. We will invite them to events. We're going to invite them to lunch with you or to see your apartment, as well as speak with myself or one of the other sales staff so we can educate them about what the pricing structure is like and the contracts and all of that. If your friend or family member does move in, as a reminder, you receive a credit to your monthly service fee that's paid from our community budget. And of course, please just continue to take part in welcoming our new residents. I see some newer faces in the room. Thanks for coming to this meeting, and thanks for everybody who's been welcoming them and making them a part of our family. Thanks for all your support, guys.
Thanks, Nathan. Hey, Nate, do you know when was the last time we had 50 sales? Out of curiosity?
At least 4 years?
Yeah, it's been quite some time
Yeah.
since we hit that lofty number, and it looks like we're going to exceed it this year, which is really spectacular. And I think, again, a credit to all of you and to what you do to make this community what it is, and for other folks to want to come and live here and join us as part of the Monroe Village family. It's all because of what they see when they come to visit. It's all because of the life, the activity, the action, all of you just doing and being and making them feel welcome. So we really appreciate all that you do with that, and look forward to welcoming some new folks into the community before the end of the year. And what do they do when they get here? They meet Cindy. And Cindy tells them all sorts of good things. She's really the person who helps organize new move-ins and get them settled and everything like that. And why do we give her that job? Well, because she's really good at it, and she really knows what's going on. And she's here today to tell us all about what's going on around Monroe Village from a resident services perspective. So with that, here's Miss Cindy.
Hello, everybody. How's that? Is that better?
Yes.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Steve usually has this honor, but Ashley's off, so he's manning the fort. So I'm stepping in. This is not my forte, as you all know. But what I lack in skill in oral speaking, I hope I can convey the info.
You can. You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
That one.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I gotta go back. Go back. Oh, we're going to December.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties.
Next.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about, we had a health fair, a Live Well health fair that went really well, but we wanted to have those vendors available to your families as well. There were all kinds of very interesting vendors for that. What is it, a CC? What's the legal marijuana vendor?
CBD? You're looking at me like I know these things.
We had, you can get stuff for your dog. You can get dog treats with, medical marijuana in it. Anyway,
Keep digging,
I
Sid.
bring the fun. Okay. Anyway, so we would like you to invite your families and come to this. It's also another Alzheimer's benefit. And please be sure to bring, if you got a new Medicare card, we need those. We need those so that when the social worker is dealing with the hospitals, she can say, yes, this is the current card. Because if not, we're all scrambling, and we want you all to get the best care possible when you go to the hospital. And Tomorrow, we're having a changes in Medicare presentation here at 11. So you'll want to come to that. It'll be informative. Next. Okay, so in November, I'm just going to go over real quickly what entertainment we have. We have Dimitri Joyce Bailey, who's a vocalist. She'll be here on Saturday, November 13th. Claudia Pellegrini, who's a violinist, and people really, really liked her, so mark that down. That's Saturday, 11:20. Marissa Chalker, who does opera and Broadway on 11:22. And thanks to everybody who gives us feedback, gives Steve feedback about the entertainment, because he's always striving to get the very best he can. So if somebody in the past, somebody hasn't liked somebody or they've had some complaints, he'll take that into account and make sure that he gets the very best he can for you all. Okay, in December, we have Jessica Edwards, who's a vocalist. She'll be here Saturday, December 4th. The Fred Hode group, which is Ragtimers, for Saturday, December 11th. Now, I'm hoping you all got your Monroe Village newsletter that was outstanding. So thank you to all the residents who put in submissions. Thank you to Ashley, who worked really hard on that. And if you would like to put in submissions, I know one of the new residents really likes to help out with newsletters and add his voice. So George, I don't see you, but I'm hoping he will add and submit an article for next quarter. And then Steve Ween is going to do another extraordinary Veterans Day. Last year, as you will remember, was really outstanding. He really celebrated our veterans and people raved. So that's on November 11th at 10:30. That's a program. And then later in the day, there's a film about troop greeters in Bangor, Maine Airport, and then some of their family members go off to service. So that'll be something you'll want to see in terms of a documentary type film. Okay, and our resident association meeting, I'm hoping you'll all come to next Tuesday, October 19th at 7 p.m. I just want to take some time and thank these people who have stepped up. And I was talking to one of the longtime volunteers here. She's about 20 years she's been volunteering. And I asked her what made her volunteer. And I'm quoting her. She said, "You get out what you put in, and sometimes it multiplies because you're of service." And so these people have taken their time and their energy and their skills, and I'm really, really grateful for them. So I just want to mention them again. We've got Barry Falk, who's the president, and they all said yes, because we did a lot of groveling. So I'm very grateful to those people. We have Julie Gelb, who's the vice president, Muriel Turetsky, who is the secretary, Larry Shepard, who's the treasurer, and the assistant treasurer is Jill Hoppenberg. One more position that we need is the coordinator of volunteers. So we have one more position. Anybody who wants to reach out to other people, this is a people position, so you'll be able to talk to people, get to know people, so that's a fun part of the job. And then before I leave, I just want to say, for me, COVID was the event of a lifetime. And we came in every day and we didn't know what was around the corner, and we had maintenance wheeling residents across the street who were COVID positive. We had staff, cleaning out refrigerators because we didn't have enough people to clean. But what I want to say is this is harder. This time right now is harder. To not have the staff and to come in every day and still do the very best we can, the people I work with are extraordinary. I was talking to somebody in dining who said that he lays in bed at night and he thinks who's going to call out tomorrow. He's not sleeping because of it. But you know what? we all come to work every day and we still laugh and we still try to do the very best we can for you. We really do. So for me, I am incredibly grateful to work with these people. And it will be the job of my lifetime because of the people I work with. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Well said, Cindy. I gotta pick this up a little bit. We do have a lot of great people who work here who are very, very dedicated to each and every one of you and what they do and how they do it every day, despite the utmost of challenges that we've encountered over the last 18 to 20 months that seemingly get harder and harder every day. I know you all appreciate them. I know you all value them and care deeply for them. I just ask that you remember the sacrifices that they continue to make day in and day out, despite the struggles, despite the hard things that happen, despite the fact that they can't do or perform or provide what they'd like to for you. Just remember what they're doing and how hard they continue to do it for everyone. Somebody who epitomizes that is Rob Shepard. Rob is our Chief of Security. Absolutely. And you know, Rob is always here. It's kind of scary, but he's always here. And I'm going to give you a silly little example of that, and Rob doesn't know what I'm about to say, so I'm going to betray somebody's confidence when I tell this story. So the other night, about 6:30, the fire alarm went off over at Village Point. And it happens sometimes. Sometimes it's a false alarm. Sometimes it's a bug in a socket. Sometimes it's something real and we don't know. If any of you are up at 6 in the morning and walking around here, do you know who you see? That guy. I'm not here typically at 6 in the morning, but once in a while I am, and I see that guy. So I'm not talking about 6 in the morning. I'm talking about 6:30 at night. So I'm talking 12 hours later. So that fire alarm goes off. People over at Village Point do what they're supposed to do. They're well trained. They know how to, keep our residents safe and how to address the situation. Who comes rolling in the door after he left 4 hours ago? That guy. Because he was worried about what was going on. And he let his Chinese food get cold because of it.
Yep. He sat down to eat dinner.
That's the confidence bit I'm betraying. Because somebody, he came in and commented about his Chinese food getting cold. But then he stayed for a couple hours until the electrician got here and until they figured out what was going on. But nobody ever sees those things, and I just think it's important that I point that out once in a while. So, and that's just one example, and I'm picking on Rob, but I could name something like that with dozens of people who work here, both managers and line staff. And just seemed like a fitting time to tell Rob that I guess I owe him a hot Chinese dinner. So, with that, Rob Shepard.
Thank you, Jay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jay, for that. Today, we're going to talk about, believe it or not, as fast as time is going, snow. Because it's right around the corner. Okay. So, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Okay? So, those of you who have cars here and drive, what we do for the residents here is we care about their safety. So, in 4 inches or more of snow, we will collect the residents' car keys at the concierge desk, the front desk here. All cars will be cleaned off at no charge for 4 or more inches of snow. So if we know there's a big snowstorm coming, we're going to ask you a couple days in advance to bring your car keys to the front desk. We're going to separate them in different bags by lot, lot 1, lot 2, lot 3, lot 4, and of course the horseshoe. Okay? And then once the storm is over, it's going to take a day or two to get your cars and the lots cleaned up. Give us a couple of days, please. If you have a doctor's appointment that you can cancel, cancel it. If it's very important that you get to that doctor's appointment. Give us a call, give security a call, the front desk. We will clean your cars off if you absolutely have to go to an appointment. We'll clean your car off, we'll bring it to the front entrance for you. This way you can get it in and out of your car very safe. Okay? If there is 3 or less inches of snow, there's going to be a charge to clean your cars off, and that is $17.25, which is pretty good to clean your cars off and for you guys to be safe. Another thing is, if you go out to the parking lot and you feel that it's unsafe, please call the concierge desk immediately and let them know that there's ice on the property, there's something needs to be plowed, anything that you feel is unsafe. Give the front desk a call and we'll address it immediately. I don't want anybody going out to the parking lots and having a fall. Okay, last year we did pretty well with, I don't think we had any falls last year. So we want to keep that up. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob. As much as I don't want to think about snow, it is important to remember these facts, especially if you have a car. But I think the most important thing Rob just shared out of all of that is that if there's snow and you have to go outside, 2 things. 1, make sure you really need to go outside. I guess it's 3 things. Make sure you really need to go outside, especially if it's before we've cleared the snow from the walkways and from the streets and from the parking lots, because we don't want to create something bad that happens. So that's point 1. Point 2 is, if you do go out and you see something that is unsafe, you see that there's an area where maybe there was a refreeze, it snowed, we cleared it, it melted a little bit, it froze again, or maybe there was a spot we missed when we were doing the shoveling, please call us and let us know. It's a big campus, and our folks work really hard to clean everything off, but once in a while they do miss something. And if you see it, just tell us and we'll take care of it, because it takes all of us to keep the community safe. And then the third thing, I guess, and it's all encapsulated in safety, is if you need to get out, let us know and we'll help take care of it, whatever it is. But be thoughtful in how much you need to get out. We all seem to suffer from cabin fever the minute we get the least little bit of snow, and everybody wants to get out and do things and whatever. We've got a lot of things we can do inside. If you need to get out for some reason, just make sure you're doing it safely. And if you have a concern, let us know so we can help you, because we want folks to be safe. The last thing we want is anyone to be outside in the snow and hurt themselves or fall. We don't want that for any of you. Okay? All right. So, since nobody wants to talk about dining, I'm going to skip that report. No? All right. So, Mike Wierzbowski is our Director of Dining Services. And Mike has not had a day off since Labor Day. So I gave him off today as his Labor Day holiday. He'll be here tomorrow, and if you want to harass him then, please feel free to do so. But today I gave him off for his Labor Day holiday because he didn't have the ability to take it off on Labor Day, which at this point was about 6 or 7 weeks ago. But there is a lot of important information that we do want to share with all of you regarding the Dining Services program. So, I hope it's not a surprise to any of you that there are unprecedented labor conditions and supply issues throughout our country. They've created a dire situation all throughout the food services industry. There was an article in the New York Times on Tuesday, I believe it was. I have a copy of the article here. And 4.3 million people voluntarily quit their jobs in August across the United States of America. 4.3 million people quit. That's the most in 2 decades. 4.3 million people is a lot of folks. That is half the population, a little less than half the population of the state of New Jersey. It's a lot of people. Even though Average hourly earnings have surged in recent months, particularly for what are called the lowest paid workers, so people making a minimum wage or somewhere in that general area. Many businesses report they are still having difficulty finding workers. In August, there were 10.4 million open jobs across the country. There were actually more open jobs than there were unemployed workers. So more jobs than there are people to fill them. And those openings were particularly elevated in the leisure and hospitality sector, where the number of people quitting was also the highest. The hospitality sector includes places like Monroe Village and dining programs, restaurants, things of that nature. A lot of folks feel that the Delta variant could be contributing to people's reluctance to return to work, the fears over COVID that are still out there. Overall, in September, it looks like the labor force shrank again during the month of September. Even though higher wages were reported, they failed to draw people back to work. It's an awful, awful labor situation out there. I have never seen anything like this in the 20 plus years I have been employed, either as my starting days as a swim instructor and a lifeguard, all the way through being responsible for our community here. I have never seen a labor market like this where people don't want to work. Anywhere you go, there are help wanted signs. If you take a ride around the corner, you'll see them everywhere. It's really, really hard right now. It's really hard. And like I put here, many restaurants and senior living communities have had to curtail service and the different options they offer. As a result, some folks have been forced to close altogether. Many of our Spring Point communities have never reopened their dining program after they shut down for COVID because they couldn't get the staff to do it. We were the first community to reopen our dining program after COVID hit. And we reopened pretty quickly and pretty successfully. There were bumps along the road, but we knew it was important to get everyone back out together. And we made that a priority for us and did that in September of 2020. We're now in October of 2021, and several communities still have not opened at all, and I can't imagine how those folks must be feeling. So what does all that mean for us here? Okay, all of that's great, that's wonderful, yeah, okay, nobody wants to work, but I don't really care. What do we need here at Monroe Village to successfully provide our dining program to you? In the restaurant, in the Fireside restaurant, the optimal serving staff is 10 servers plus the hostesses and or Joe. So a minimum of 10 servers and the hostesses. In the Village Bistro for lunch and dinner, the optimal serving pattern is 3 servers, 2 of them who are out helping at the tables, 1 of whom is at the cash register helping people with their takeout or whatever, and a cook. Because remember, all of the food up in the Village Bistro has been cooked to order. It's not something that is prepared in advance. And then, of course, there are all those people that we don't see. All of those back of the house staff. The cooks that are in the main dining room kitchen downstairs. The dishwashers, the pot washers, the kids who are running the orders here, there, and everywhere. We call them the back of the house staff, who also are needed every day for both the Village Bistro and the Fireside restaurant. So at present, we're unable to adequately staff for full service in both venues every night. I wrote to you about that several times over the last few weeks, and it's a horrible situation to be in. We have 17 staff positions in dining services that are currently unfilled. And that's not because we don't want to fill them. We're doing all sorts of stuff, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. And it's forced our hand to something that none of us want to do, and none of us are happy about. We've had to move to takeout only service Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We did start that this week. Monday was a little rough. Tuesday and Wednesday went better. We are doing full service Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday brunch. Last night was our first night of that. It didn't go well. Do you know why it didn't go well? We didn't have enough servers, is right. Do you know why we didn't have enough servers? Because 3 of them called out, even though we expected them to be here. It's not like we didn't have on paper, on a schedule, we had 10. Because what we did is we took the existing staff and we truncated or consolidated the days they were working to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so we could get to 10 every day. But at 3 o'clock, 3 of them called out. What do we do? And that's not uncommon right now, here or anywhere. So we need your help, and that's really what I'm here to ask you for today. We need your help, and we need your patience during this difficult situation. This is a temporary measure. We're not looking at this as something that is going to be permanent. God help us if it is, because that's not what I want, and I know it's not what you want. The goal is to restore service as soon as we possibly can. As I mentioned, we consolidated the existing staff to set evenings so that we could open the Fireside Restaurant. Otherwise, we'd be doing a not very good job every night, let's put it that way. I was going to use another word, but I'm not going to. Those of you who know me know what word I was going to use. So, anyway. And what I'm promising you is that we are going to reevaluate the situation on a weekly basis. Where are we? What did we do well? What could we do different? How can we get as close to normal as we can? And we're going to look at that on a weekly basis. And we're talking about some other ideas and options as well. I want you to know that we are utilizing a variety of recruitment strategies to add new team members. We talked about this pretty extensively at the Resident Association Executive Committee meeting this week. So with the Resident Association Board, we had a very good discussion about this. We've also talked about it at the Dining Services Committee, the different things we use. We've recently raised wages. Everybody got a raise. We put in new rates for all of our staff in a hope to recruit and keep the staff we have. We do sign-on bonuses. Come and join the team, we pay you a bonus. You refer somebody to work here, and that person is a good employee. You get a bonus as an existing employee, a referral bonus. We're advertising. We're going to the local schools. We have an appointment one day next week, I think, that Maria Wispeski, who's our Director of Human Resources, is going to spend the day at the Monroe High School during the lunch periods to be able to just sort of be in the hallway and have a table and flyers to try to recruit people. We're pulling out all the stops we can think of. And if any other folks have ideas, we are all ears at this point. We truly, truly are. On a positive note, we did hire one new staff member this week, and that person is going through our new hire process. And we do have 3 additional interviews scheduled in the coming days. So 1 + 3 = 4 if we hire those 3, but 4 is still less than 17. So we still have a ways to go, and we're going to have to chip away at it bit by bit. But I'm committing to all of you that we are going to look at it on a regular basis, evaluate what we've got, what we need to do, and the goal is to get back to regular service as quickly as possible. But given what I just told you about the situation across the country, it's very, very challenging right now. And we really need your help and understanding and your patience with those who are here serving you so that we don't lose those folks as well. So with that, on to something a little happier. The fall seasonal menu. Yes, we are now about 3 weeks into fall. Blame COVID. Supply chain issues have limited what we're able to get in as far as products, so it has led to delays in starting our fall seasonal menu. However, it will be fully implemented starting next week. We've done a few things. You may have noticed some different soups, a couple of things like that, but next week you should see the fall seasonal menu fully implemented. And again, I'd like to thank your Dining Services Committee because they are the ones who took the time to go through last year's fall seasonal menu and all of the specials to give us feedback on what was good, what was popular, what was not so hot. And that feedback is what Mike used to determine the menu for this fall. That's the give and take that we continue to need. We need your feedback. We need your information so that we can continuously refine what we're doing to try to meet your desires and exceed your expectations. So just a reminder that you need to call extension 6433 for dinner orders and for reservations in the Fireside Restaurant. Right now, the Village Bistro is not open at all for dinner. However, it is open for continental breakfast and lunch. But for dinner, you need to call the Fireside Restaurant at extension 6433. And that's whether it's a reservation on a night there's reservations or it's a takeout order on the nights there's takeout. And just as we were doing during COVID, during the height of COVID when we couldn't come out, you call, and if you leave a message, somebody will return the call. Don't forget about the menu line. We try to broadcast as many different ways as we can what the specials are of the day. You can find them, if it's a takeout night, you can find them in your bag for the next day. You can find them on channel 1979, because they're updated daily, and you can find them on the menu line at extension 6485. Now, it was a little behind earlier this week. We did address that and take care of that, and the menu line is being updated daily. So if you call, sometime after dinner, maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night, you'll hear the next day. And then in the morning, if you called, you would hear it for that day. But we don't reset it until late in the evening for the following day. And like I said, that feedback is really, really important to us. Mike always takes your calls. He gets back, he responds. You can call him at 6424. You can email him at mikewersbowski@springpointsl.org. He wants to hear what you have to say. We need to be collaborative with this. We are partners in this project. And we just want to keep moving forward as best as we can, recognizing that right now, and I know we've got poker players in the room because I watch you all play down in the private dining room a couple days a week. We've just been dealt a crappy hand. And the question becomes, what do? Do we fold? Or do we try to battle through it and maybe bluff a little bit and win a little something and live to fight another day? So I'm asking all of you to help us with that at this time. So with that, we're going to move on to my report. A few things to note other than dining. Booster shots. Thank you for all of you who got your booster shot last week. Booster shots are not mandatory, but they are certainly very strongly recommended for those over the age of 65. And overall, 180 independent living residents got their booster shot last Friday, which was great. Now you might be sitting here saying, well, we have over 200 residents, why only 180? Well, some people didn't, this was only the Pfizer. Remember, only the Pfizer vaccine has been approved at this point for a booster shot. Most of you, and in fact, all of you who got the original shots here got the Pfizer and were able to get the booster. But there are some folks who got their vaccine, their COVID vaccine elsewhere. And maybe they got the Moderna or they got the Johnson & Johnson. So they weren't eligible for the booster shot that was offered last Friday. A few folks at the hospital, a few folks out and about other places, a few folks actually going over to Village Point today. So all in all, 180, which is really, really great participation. And all 29 of our assisted living residents received their booster, which is great for that neighborhood. And in all, we had 38 team members get the booster shot. It is not required. It is not something that we are mandating, the booster shot. But we did have 38 people get their booster, and more will be getting it today over at Village Point. Obviously, we made the COVID-19 booster a priority this year over the flu shot. There's only so many vaccines we can roll at one time. So the flu shot clinic We are having one. It's going to be in early November. I don't have a set date yet, but I'm shooting for the second week of November, ideally. So the week after Election Day, let's put it that way. But once we have all of that nailed down as far as what the exact date is and the time and everything, we will let you know. It will run just like we did the COVID booster vaccine, just like we've done flu vaccines in the past. There'll be forms we'll need you to fill out or to help us with. You'll have it, we'll do it by wing, you'll come by time, you'll come down here to the auditorium. The process works very, very well, and we thank you all for your help in making that process work well. So look for more details on the exact date of the flu vaccine coming up soon. 2022 budget. End of the year also means budget time. So we are finalizing the budget, and we will be holding a meeting at some point soon once we finalize our numbers with resident representatives. So it's a joint meeting between the Resident Association Executive Committee as well as your Financial Advisory Committee. And we meet to do a review of the budget, and that is before the budget goes to the Resident Trustee Board for a vote. And we all know that Marie Eppinger is the Monroe Village resident trustee, so she attends that meeting as well. And it gives the residents an opportunity to do some review and offer some comments and give Marie some direction as to what they may want her to ask or discuss or vote upon at the resident trustee meeting where the budget is presented and voted upon. So that's coming up soon. And once the budget is approved, then we will have our meeting here that's a general meeting to our residents. And those of you who have been around know that this is something we do every year. And our budget presentation will take place on Monday, November 15th at 10:30, right here in the auditorium. And because of all the other things that typically go on during the month of November with flu shots and Thanksgiving and other holiday events and whatnot, the budget meeting takes the place of the November town hall meeting. So there will be no town hall meeting in November, just the budget meeting. So I wanted to make that clear to everyone. Then we will resume town hall in December. One other thing to note, sidewalks. I've been talking about sidewalks, and with all of us being outside quite a bit more with the COVID and, to be honest, with the nice weather we've had, we know we've got some sidewalks that need to be repaired. And the following areas are going to be addressed before we get into the winter. So the area at parking lot 1, the area at parking lot 3, and the area where you go from the garden area, the outside outdoor raised garden beds, walking toward the pond. If you walk that way, that concrete in that area is pretty chewed up. So those areas are going to be replaced in the coming weeks. There are some other areas that need to be done as well, but we need to take a systematic approach to it, and we are hitting the end of the suitable season for pouring concrete and laying down asphalt or whatnot. So we're going to hit these areas before we get into the winter, and then we'll do some other things come springtime. So with that, we will now open it up to comments and questions. I do want to, a couple things. One, I want to remind everyone that all of the slides from today's presentation and every other presentation are available if you would like copies, whether you're here today or you're watching at home. You just need to reach out to Gina DePiro, our administrative assistant extraordinaire, our counselor, our clinic receptionist, our server, our computer IT person, our office furniture purchaser, and I think I saw her vacuuming a carpet the other day. So among all of those other things, she will be happy to make copies of this presentation if you would like the slides, because we do know we've got a lot of information on there, and sometimes folks like to be able to read it at their leisure afterwards. And if you are at home and watching this and you have a question, reach out to Gina as well, and she will get it to the appropriate person, and we will get back to you. So we're going to turn the lights up, and we are going to bring my man Tony, who's got the microphone, around with questions. For everyone's courtesy, we ask that you raise your hand and that you wait until the microphone comes to you so that you can be heard by everyone. because unfortunately without the microphone, sometimes some people cannot be heard. So if you have a question or a comment, raise your hand. Tony will walk around with the microphone and we'll take it as it comes. All right, you're good, Tone, thanks. Yeah, you got another microphone. Hi, Marlene.
Hi. On the transition to the dining committee feedback, the cards are in the front, they should fill out the cards.
Yes,
You
that's,
mentioned that.
thank you for reminding me. Yes, and I promised I was going to mention that. Thank you for reminding me, Marlene. Marlene is talking about the comment cards, the dining comment cards. That's another great way to provide feedback. The comment cards back before COVID used to be on the table. COVID world, it's not allowable. So the comment cards are at the exit to both the Fireside Restaurant and the Village Bistro. Grab a comment card, grab a pencil, fill it out, get it back to us. We love to hear your feedback. That's another way you can share things with us. Good or bad, because we review them all, Mike and I, and then we talk about a lot of them at the Dining Services Committee. Thanks for the reminder, Marlene.
Hi,
Hey, Julie.
hi. First of all, I'm shocked that this place isn't packed today. I guess that's a good thing, in a certain respect. But as far as Larry and I are concerned, yeah, we're not happy about the dining situation, just like most people are, but we certainly understand it. And I think the staff as a whole here, whether it be dining services, whatever, every department is doing a great job, so we thank you very much.
Thank you. That's very kind. We appreciate that.
Thank you for recognizing me. Just, first of all, a question.
Yeah.
Originally, as I understood it, the bistro will be open on Sunday from 4 to 6 for dinner. Is that still available?
That is correct. Yes, Sunday evening only in the bistro. Yes, I didn't put all of the notes here because it was all in the memo that was sent, but you are correct. Thank you for pointing that out. That is important because we know that on Sunday we have the brunch downstairs and there is nothing for dinner unless we had the bistro open. So yes, the bistro is open Sunday night only for dinner by reservation. Thank you.
Thank you. My other is a comment. We are also facing two other problems during this very trying time, and I thank you, Jay, for outlining it to us. One is inflation. You know, most of you know, if you've been watching anything, that it is now approaching more than 5.4% a year and going up. And the other, I have to make this comment. We have many transfer payments. The $300 in addition to the unemployment benefit has already expired. However, this does not end the transfer payments. There is currently $1,000 per each dependent child, and we cannot ignore the fact that if you are getting all this money, it's attractive to stay home. I might stay home myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments, Betty, and thank you again for that reminder about the bistro on Sunday nights. That's important. Hi, Joan.
Hi, Jay. I truly appreciate everything you've done for us. We're very happy. However, I'm curious. These youngsters, 14, 15 years old, who have been working with you forever, why, did you ever ask them why they're calling in all of a sudden? Why now?
Right, so we can't hire anybody who's younger than 15, so let's start there just to let everybody know. And those who are 15, understandably there are some pretty strict things that we need to adhere to from a labor law standpoint. Being the father of a 15-year-old now, I'm glad that she would, if she were working, she'd have to be home by 7 o'clock. She can't work past that on a school night. Those are labor laws to protect the kids, which makes it challenging. I know I haven't answered your question yet, but that makes it challenging to hire 15-year-olds when our dining room we're not always done by 7 o'clock. That hasn't changed. That hasn't changed, but that makes, my point is, there's an even smaller labor market with the kids that we can go after, because the 15-year-olds, we can't hire younger than 15 at all. And those who are 15, and yes, we've hired some 15-year-olds because we've had to. I don't know how to put it other than that. I don't like hiring 15-year-olds because of the restrictions that are right to have, but they make it harder for us to do our job for you. But we have hired some 15-year-olds, and we have to very closely follow the law and make sure they're out by 7 o'clock and they can't use certain pieces of equipment that are part of the dining program, et cetera, et cetera. As far as your actual question, though, why are they calling out, why are they quitting? Because they can. We have people who are leaving to go elsewhere and make significantly more money. Like, significantly more money at other restaurants, other things like that, because it's a very competitive labor market, and that's what leads to the inflation. And we've raised our pay rates for our staff, but I can't afford to pay a server $20 an hour. You can't afford to pay a server $20 an hour, to be perfectly honest with you. And that's where a great part of our struggle is right now. As far as the call-outs, employers right now do not have the upper hand, okay? If we follow all of our corrective action policies and processes, as we should, with respect to call-outs, because we do have a program and we do have a process, and we will continue to follow it, but we run the risk of losing employees because of it. And they don't really care because, again, as I just said, they can go down the street and make $18 at IHOP. Yeah, they can, Joan. The kids can. That's part of what's so upside down with all of this. The kids can, if they want to go work at not at Amazon, but at another restaurant or at an ice cream shop or the CVS, down Jamesburg, or the Quick Check across the street, they can. They can. And those folks, those employers, those companies have the ability to pass through that added cost to their customers. So the cup of coffee at Quick Check that was $1.75 6 months ago is $2 now. Doesn't sound like much a quarter, but think about how many cups of coffee Quick Check or Wawa sells in a day, right? But they just change it like that. We can't do that. I can't in good conscience do that to you. That's part of the challenge that comes with it, and that's all the up and the down and the micro and macroeconomics of it and the inflation, and I could get into a whole economics conversation which will really put everybody to sleep. It's just crazy. It's crazy, Joan, and we talk to them all the time. Why are you doing this? Why are you leaving? Where are you going? Why did you call out? Mike does that, Joe does that to try to understand. And it's just an unbelievable situation. Yeah, that's what they tell us. So, Bobby.
Shay.
Yeah.
As far as reservations in the restaurant, I went to talk to the young lady, Christina, about making registrations. She said she could not do that for more than one day at a time because you and Mike had made up the rules. So what is that all about?
That's a great question because our reservation policy hasn't changed. So I'll have to talk with her about that, Bob. What we were doing previously, if everybody remembers, was we were allowing you to make reservations up to a week in advance.
And that's what we're doing now.
And that's what we're doing now. None of that has changed. And if they're telling you that, then I need to go down and talk with them to re-educate them, and I'm sorry.
Okay, very well. She said that you and Mike had made up the rules.
Yeah, I don't know if that's completely correct, and I'm sorry. Because that's not what we had discussed and not what we had said we were going to change.
She had made, the reservation a week in advance in the past.
Right, and that's going to continue.
Up until this week.
Yeah, and maybe just because of the changes, there's a little confusion, Bob, and I apologize for that. But we are still allowing you to make reservations up to a week in advance for the nights that the restaurant is open.
Well, could just clarify that with the staff.
Absolutely.
Okay, very well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Where do we go? We got back to Betty over here, and then we've got Ms. Sherman up front.
You know that I'm very interested in the situation, and I have to make one more common. I know as residents we keep saying, oh, if only they paid more, everything would be solved. It would not, because what are those persons who are at the bottom of the scale making, say, $13, $14 an hour? But there are other persons who are more skilled who are also making that. So do you think that they will be satisfied with the $14? Certainly not. So be careful what you wish for, because we may get it. And it won't be pretty for us.
It's
Thank you.
definitely a difficult situation, Betty. And you're right, you do run into a lot of wage compression issues and other challenges that happen as you start raising rates and things like that. I think Ms. Sherman was next, so if we can get the microphone to her, that would be great.
Raise your hand.
There you go. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you. This is not an emergency question, but nevertheless.
Sure.
Meal times are sort of the main time when we connect with each other.
Yep.
It's very difficult to do that when you have a long table and one person at this end, one person the other end. My question is, could we replace the long tables with the round tables as we used to have before COVID? It's easier to communicate.
What, in the dining room?
Yeah.
We can certainly look at that. I think there are still some of the round tables there. I
But
keep
not
leaning on the
enough.
cord. The challenge with the round tables is that, to be honest, we were trying to shove too many people around them, and it wasn't necessarily safe for everyone. But we can look at, we've talked about maybe getting larger round tables at some point as well. But we did buy newer square tables for the large parties, greater 6 or greater, and then 5 people is the max we're allowing at the round tables now.
Square are better than the long one, even the square is.
I understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Hey, Barry.
Hi, Jay. Good morning. Couple things. One, I just read in the Wall Street Journal that 10,000 people were laid off with went on strike with John Deere.
Yep.
The president of the union said this: we are in the driver's seat now. The laborers are in the driver's seat. This will become contagious, unfortunately. So what Jay is saying is just compounded every day with other things like that. I hope it can stop, but it may not be able to stop. 2. Oh boy, the senior moment. I wonder how I got that. Oh my God, Barry. Okay.
So I'll just say I'm glad I don't have my John Deere tractor anymore. It died, because if I still
Right.
had it, I probably wouldn't be able to get parts because they're on strike.
Right. Okay. In
Trying to
addition,
cover.
in addition to getting several comments to myself and everything else about the D word, you know what the D word is, right? Okay. I also got a comment that was extremely helpful and interesting. The person said to me, when was the last time that we had a fire emergency drill? And we've been here since May of last 2020, and I do not remember one. So I would see if that should be considered, and I think it should be considered. Okay.
Good suggestion, and we have done them in the past. COVID is another one that one, but we can talk about that.
Thank
Rob's in the back. He's paying
Okay, I have
attention.
one other thing, please.
Yes.
One other thing. The appreciation fund is doing well. It should be doing a little bit better at this time of the period of it. So all you people who read the letter, get a good day feeling. Get a good day feeling and say, oh my goodness, look, I wrote that check, okay? And then look in the mirror and smile at yourself, because you'll feel good. When you do something good, you feel good. In fact, you feel better than you think you were going to feel.
You got
and
it,
you'll have a
Barry.
great day or that whole day. So write your check, then plan something to be with all your friends so you can be really happy, happy, happy. Thank you very much.
There you go. I will applaud that one. Absolutely, Barry. All right. Anybody else having a senior moment? Now? Any other comments or questions? Any other gossip or rumors? Why not? Let's throw it all out there. We got one more up here. Wait just a sec. The mic's coming around.
Is there anything that can be done to help the quality of the food?
Well, the challenge with the food, among many things, is that supply chain issue. We order things. I think last week on Mike's order, 30-some things he typically orders didn't come in because it wasn't in the warehouse to be delivered. And that was anything from aluminum foil to chicken breast. He had to run to our secondary meat purveyor, who is a small shop down in Trenton, to get chicken. I think we did chicken thighs not that long ago. Last week, maybe? Yeah. They were good. Dutch, our friend Dutch down in Trenton, Mike had to drive down there to get them because they didn't come in on our order from our regular food purveyor. Those are the challenges that we're faced with. So we're trying to do our best with everything we can to keep the quality up, to keep the service up, to do whatever we can, but it's really, really hard right now, and I wish I could make it better and wave a magic wand, but as the union head from John Deere said, they're in control right now, so it's hard. It's hard.
Just a quick question about the tables in the dining room.
Yeah, Carol.
Is it because 5 people cannot sit at a table for 4? I understand that, but are there not enough tables in the dining room for 5 people to sit? I was told that's a rule now. You cannot have 4 people at a table.
What? I'm unaware. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have responded that way. I'm unaware of that, and I don't believe we have any rule like that.
I used to sit at a table for 5.
Yeah.
And now I'm excluded because they only have a table for 4.
Well, I mean, there are only so many round tables for 5, Carol. So if other people made the reservation for that table first, that could be what's going on. But we are not restricting. Groups of 5 may use the round tables. That's what they're there for.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Well, may COVID never return. Hear, hear. May COVID never return. So with that, thank you all for being here. Enjoy the fall season. Enjoy Halloween coming up. And we will see you all soon and around the hallways. Thank you, folks. Have a great day.